What the hell, man? The stupidest thing happened. I just hit my PC and it shut down. What? So anyway, after I said, okay, let's just take it as a quick break. After a quick break, we're back and let's now continue. So let's go over to the display. And let's see, where did we leave off? So, yeah, we were talking about this shot, right? Yeah, thankfully, the project didn't get corrupted or anything.
Vol.
Anyway, you know what? Let's just grab all the footage that we had, like that we chopped off until now, and let's just bring it over here at the end. Same with the footage at the beginning. Let's paste it over here. And we'll just use this footage to like make a short little edit. So let's see here. We got the music. Let's duplicate that as well. And let's see here. We're even gonna unlink all of this stuff and just delete all the audio from there, and let's just bring in the music. And let's see. Let's just select this part. So we'll just go through this. I'll just make a very quick edit. Guys, I was actually streaming, but my PC shut down, and now I had to restart the stream. So I hope you don't mind that. But we're back on track. Actually, we're gonna wrap up in about 30 minutes, so let's see if we can make a short little edit, and then we'll be wrapping things up. Let me know if you have any questions regarding even After Effects or anything like that. But let's just focus and try to make a short little edit with the footage that we cut off until now. Okay, so let's start off. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Let's use this. Let's use this footage. Now, before we move on into the editing part, I'll show you what I personally like to do when it comes to, sorry about that, when it comes to organizing your clips that you cut off. So in this case, I have everything cut off, right? Well, before I actually get to the editing part, I like to organize them by labeling them with colors and shift them around, put them in different kinds of places next to each other, just because I would have an easier time when I'm editing afterwards. So, for example, let me tell you something. So, say I have this footage, right? So this is just down the hallway, so the corridor. Well, I would pair this up with some other stuff that I could use to, begin the video with. So, what I remember, we had this sort of camera move going from top to bottom. So I think it's this one. So I like to pair this up with whatever piece of footage that I can use to transition between scenes. I saw you last time with After Effects, now Premiere Pro. Which software is your primary one? Well, After Effects is what I use mainly for compositing, visual effects, motion design, and Premiere Pro is what I use for editing. So there you go. But mostly Adobe software. And then you got Photoshop for photos and so on and so forth. Maybe we can cut there and then cut to this next shot. I'm thinking actually, you know what? This is what we'll do. Because this sounds very mysterious. This, like this part of the audio. I'm thinking we could have some very like detailed shots and have very weird looking shots. And remember when I cut those fast moving shots and stuff? So let's see. Let's actually grab these details. So where was that shot? Okay, this one, which is very fast and blurry. Oh, and as I was saying before, when I'm organizing clips, because I don't like to do them, like I don't like to organize them in the folders here or like in the project files, just because I can organize them to a certain point and put them inside of things and, you know, put each clip into some different sort of folder. But then I have to still put it in the composition or like the sequence and chop it up there and trim it and re-edit it and stuff. So that's like, I think that's double the work. Whereas if I just go through the entire footage, I just chop it up and then afterwards I reorganize it, recolor them. So in this case, say these are like detail shots. So I like to color them, say blue. So I would make them blue. And now I know that those clips are probably detail shots, so more close-up shots of things. And then I would have, say for example, these intro or more wide angle shots, color them some other color, like for example mango, which is orange, and so on and so forth, just to stay as organized as possible. Sorry, I gotta check my phone just for a second. So yeah, well, actually what we'll do is let's just delete all these other parts and we'll just use this piece of music here to edit the shots that we have currently to the footage, or to the music, sorry. So we got these detail shots. Let's bring them over. Let's try to find anything that we can use at the beginning. As I said, I'm looking for mysterious shots, so let's start off by not showing any of the faces. Maybe you can use this one. And you can notice here one other thing that I like to do is, as I'm going through the shots, whatever I think I'm gonna use, I'll just drag it up. So I'll leave it there, and then I'll move on. And then we'll find some other stuff. Bring those up as well. Maybe I can trim this one where he crosses over. We'll use that moment, and we'll bring it up. I'm just looking for detailed shots right now. There you go, this one too. Let's bring it up. When will your next tutorial come out? This Sunday. I'm planning on releasing a new tutorial every Sunday. A new tutorial was supposed to come out this Sunday that passed, but unfortunately I was not able to make it in time, so I'm gonna have to push it to the next Sunday. And it is gonna be the logo animations episode 2. So as I said before, I'm planning on turning this into a series. So we're gonna do 5 logo animations every episode, but not every week, of course. The next episode might be like a month from now, maybe. I don't know, but let me know if you have any suggestions for any logos that you would like me to animate. We'll use this for the shoes. And the ones from the gloves as well, when the beat starts to drop or something. So let's see, let's bring them up. Oh, this one of the gloves being revealed as well. I like that a lot. I like your tutorials. Keep it up. Yo, thank you. Thanks a lot. Anyway, let's just leave it at that. Let's just select all the clips that we brought up, bring them over. Let's see. select all the lower ones, just push them to the side. Oh, I selected the audio as well. Push them to the side, and we'll just bring them over here. Now let's see. Again, I'm not looking for this to be the final version, so we'll just go through them quickly. Hey, Dark Ace, I just answered your question, man. I said next Sunday, so this upcoming Sunday is when the tutorial will drop. And that's gonna be the logo animations tutorial. See, let's speed that up to maybe 400 and reverse it. Ooh, that's way too much. Maybe 200? Bring it back to 100. Like how this shot comes into focus, like as it's coming closer, because it's very blurry at this point, and then comes into focus. You know, at this point when you're editing, I don't know how to explain it, but it's sort of how you feel about it, because there's no like technical explanation. Of course, I could go into some details as to when to cut for specific reasons, but when you're editing, I find that most of the time, I just like to feel the edit. So, of course, there's like cutting to the beat, right? But then there's certain times where you just don't cut to the beat at all, and for those certain times, there's just no explanation really. Especially when it comes to me. You know, I just want, as I said before, I like to feel the edit. So the reason behind these weird shots is, because I said before, this first part of the audio or the music sounds very mysterious. So I wanna like showcase the environment with different clips by using actual mysterious and weird clips, if that makes sense. But I'm also teasing the logo here, so you can see. And I'm thinking maybe we can make the length of this clip the same as this. So we'll just duplicate that, bring it on top, go to the end point here where that clip ends, and then we'll cut this bottom one and just delete them, so we know exactly how long that is. And I think we'll use it from this point on. Actually, go back. And you notice here, these last 3 or 4 frames, this clip, the camera just pans or tilts down, whereas when we transition or cut to this clip, the camera is going up, and that makes for not a very smooth cut, or like there's not much flow to it. So one thing we could do is maybe, just maybe, we could reverse the speed, so you can see how it flows much better, because now the camera, as it's going down, when it cuts to this clip, it also keeps going down. Or one crazy thing here, let me just undo the reverse. We can go over to effects and maybe flip vertically, or like vertical flip. And now it's gonna, because it's flipped, it's gonna go from up to down. And it adds to the surrealism of the edit. Because this shot looks very weird, and we cut to an even weirder shot, which is upside down. And I'm thinking we can even 150% that to speed it up, just so we can match the speed of this camera movement. Okay, we'll delete this since we're using a version of that already. And let's see, let's move in time here. We can maybe add these ones, because as I said before, I want to not show the faces at the beginning. So maybe we can use these shots of them running at first. Maybe even these ones. And then this one, which kind of reveals the coach. Oh man, shoot, I gotta go in like 15 minutes, man. Anyway, let's go. Let's just move quickly. The way that they run in this clip is very weird. Okay, so maybe I can use this. Like, as soon as it reaches this point, you can see it's also out of focus. We can just cut there. At this point, it actually sounds like some war movie. We'll delete this one. And I'm thinking this first clip, just to add some more dynamic to it, we could maybe, let's go to effects controls. And I'm noticing it's not level completely, so let's start off by scaling up to 110%. And we'll go -3, and we'll just center it up. Let's undo the proxy here so we're working with the original file. And then we'll do like a slow scale up. So we'll set the scale here at the end, and then we'll scale it up at the first keyframe so that it starts by zooming like that. Maybe even 60. Remember, I'm using 4K footage, so it's not going to be a problem even if I push this to like 200%. Since I'm working on a 1080p display, especially if you watch this in on your phone, you're not going to be able to notice it at all. And then you also know it's a bit shaky, so what I like to do is I like to add, if I want the footage to be smooth, because I'm using handheld here, like I'm not using any stabilizers, any gimbals. I'm just shooting this handheld. Of course, the lens and the body of the camera has some built-in stabilization, but those micro jitters of your hands can be annoying sometimes. So you can see here, if I scale this up, if I go full screen, just notice the footage. So you can see this point. This micro jitter here is so annoying. Well, what I like to do is just use the warp stabilizer, and I'll just do like simply 1%, maybe 2% max. Now, of course, this is gonna take some time because it is 4K, but once it's finished, I'll show you like the before and after. Like, it's so distracting having that mic shot, and you got this smooth zoom out, and then you got this shaky footage. I'm really digging this sort of cutting. After 3 shots, we can maybe stabilize a bit. And as he goes across the screen, we can cut to another shot. But let's go back here. Just wait for this to finish. I'm gonna cut a bit more. Like, I'm gonna put some more clips together, one after another, and then we'll maybe do some quick color correction with the Lumetri, and then we'll call it there, because I really gotta be going very soon. Now, I don't know if this was very good topic or very good to be live streamed, but I try to give as much value as possible when doing these live streams. Of course, it might not be as enjoyable to watch compared to, like, say, me animating logos or anything like that, because this is the sort of project that takes a lot of time. Like you saw, we only cut through maybe 10 minutes worth of footage in about an hour maybe, and I got 2 hours worth of footage that I need to cut, and then I need to rewatch and re-edit to the music, see what fits best, what doesn't. And it's, it's a matter of like weeks, even months. So who knows, I might be able to finish this in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll maybe publish this, and maybe I'll do some sort of video where I talk about my thought process with when shooting these kinds of videos or editing them. But we'll see. Of course, make sure to follow me on Instagram. As I said before, that's where I'm most active, and whenever I do something new or anything, I'll just post it there so you can be notified, and you can find me there. So it's at the bottom left corner. I think the warp stabilizing is done. Yeah, it's been done for a long time now. Let's just preview it. So you can see even with 1% how much smoother that is. Now we can still see this twitch right here. And you can also notice the lens flare just jumping around. Now, here's one thing to keep in mind. When you're shooting footage and you're not going to be using any gimbals or anything like that, try to keep an eye out on lens flares, because if you want to stabilize your footage after the fact and you have a lens flare in your footage or in your shot, it's really not going to work. It might stabilize your shot, sure, but you can notice that the lens flare here is still jumping around as if it's not stabilized at all. So definitely look out for that issue. So a best way to demonstrate this would be to, like, say, crank it up to 50%. Maybe, but you can see it's very steady, but the lens flare is still jumping around, so it can't really stabilize the lens flare. I'm thinking maybe 50% is actually good. But also, one more thing to keep in mind here is, I don't know if you can notice, so if you focus on the light, because I'm using a shutter speed of 50, even if I slightly move the camera, it's gonna blur out the image. So in this case, the light gets blurred out, but we have stabilized it fully, but you can also notice still that the light is being blurred out. So just focus on the light bulb here. Let me just replay that. So you can see how it just blurs out like that and twitches, and also the problem with the lens flare. So yeah, if you're looking to stabilize your footage in post-production, keep an eye out on lens flares, having a very high shutter speed, maybe 100 or 200, depending on what you're shooting, just so you can remove the blur, and then after the fact you can add motion blur. For example, with After Effects, there's this plugin called Real Smart Motion Blur, and it slows down. It's very heavy on the PC, but you can get some pretty decent results on your footage. Like, say you're shooting very high shutter speed and your video looks very choppy, you just add that effect, and it adds the artificial blur to it, so it looks as if you shot with actual 50 shutter speed, for example. I saw a 3D animated scene film ident for the television. Yeah, I do a lot of 3D stuff. I like to use the Element 3D plugin, which is a third-party plugin from Video Copilot, and it has a lot of 3D capabilities. Of course, it's still not an actual 3D software, so it doesn't really have all the capabilities of an actual 3D software, like, for example, 3ds Max, which I mainly use for 3D, but it does allow you to do a lot of cool things, and it's insanely fast. It's like so quick. Like, you can do 3D in real time with that plugin. Anyways, guys, as I said before, I'm really in a rush here. I hope you could get anything, as much value from this live stream as possible. I'll try to re-edit this and then repost it again, just cutting out the best parts and stuff, and see if that works. But anyway, we're gonna be taking a look at a quick color correction process for one of these clips, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So let's see here. Let's see what clip should be color correct. So maybe this one, which is wide. I want to cover as much stuff as possible. Okay, we'll color correct this clip where it's going like through the legs. So let's bring it on top here, and let's go over to Window, Lumetri Color, and this will bring up the Lumetri tab on the right side here, and that's where I like to keep it. And if you have a clip selected and you make any adjustments here to the Lumetri tab, it will automatically add a Lumetri color effect here at the effects controls. So you don't have to worry about that. And let's see here. So let's bring up the, let's see, Window. I want to bring up the Lumetri scopes. There we go. So I like to use the, what was this called? Waveform type. The Luma waveform type for when I'm adjusting the brightness and darkness values. So this right here at the bottom, 0, that's like the darkest point, and this up here is like the brightest point. And you can see our footage looks very, very neutral. That's because I'm using S-Log 2, so the colors are pretty neutral, pretty gray looking. And the waveform actually represents your video. So you can see here, if we move at the back here, you can see these two, so this one and this one here, these angles are probably the legs. And then as he's moving the legs, you can see those waveforms jumping around. You know, there's something very satisfying about looking at waveforms. They look really cool. But anyway, let's bring this down. What I like to do is, especially in this case, because I want a very moody, very contrasty look, let's just select the blacks. And you can see here, down here at the bottom, there seems to be very clipped blacks. And these ones are probably, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the back there on the ground. That's what those are. So they are totally clipped to black, so there's no detail there. But let's just push the blacks all the way down before they start to hit 0. So let's not clip them just yet. So maybe there. And then we can bring down the shadows as well. And then we'll bring the highlights back up. And then we'll see, let's see, 1.5 on the overall exposure. And then let's give it a bit more contrast. Let's see, maybe add some saturation. But as I told you before, I'm probably gonna be doing that effect where I only keep the blue color and I'll desaturate everything else. And in order to do that, in this case we would use the curves effect, but I'm probably gonna do this in After Effects just because I know how to push it to a better result, and I'm probably gonna add some more post-production effects in the end there. But I'll just quickly show you how you would do that using Premiere Pro. So go down to Curves, under Hue and Saturation. We can just make some points here. I think I showed you guys this in the beginning, but we'll make some points there. And around the blue, we'll leave the points as is, and the other colors, we'll just bring them down. And this will result in every other color being desaturated while only keeping the blue colors. So you can see that looks pretty cool, I must say. Turn off the proxy. And one cool little tip is if you go over to the plus here, where we added the proxy button, we can add this effects button. Let me see if I can find it. Where's the effects button? Wait, did I add it? No, I haven't added it. Oh yeah, there it is. So we add that button, and what happens is if we check that, so if it's blue it's on, it means that it's gonna turn off all the effects in the sequence. So you can see it says global effects mute. So we can quickly use this to just toggle between the effects. So in this case, it just turns off the Lumetri color. But of course, we can just turn it off right here. But without having to select the clip, go into effects controls and all that, we can use this one. And keep in mind, there's a bunch of other buttons here that you can use to maybe speed up your workflow. So yeah, that's the color correcting part. And then as far as the concept for the color grading for this one, I might just leave the blue like this, and then maybe I'll add some. I'll show you one plugin that I like to use, and it is so cool. Like, it makes everything look so much better. So it's called Film Convert. So it sort of adds a film look to it, and also grain. So you got noise. It just makes it look as if you shot this on film. So let's just click this item, which is the new item button, and then you can create whatever new item you want. And I created a new adjustment layer, bring it on top, and then we can add the Film Convert Pro. And let's see here. Let's just close the Lumetri color. So make this bigger so we can see it. So you got a bunch of presets here for the film look. And then down here you got the film color, so how much you want to use that preset. And then you got the curve for like some contrast. Let me just turn on the proxy so this works faster. So if we set it to 100, I think it's lagging. Okay, we're back to proxies. So if we set it to 100, you can see it's very contrasty. If we set the curve back to 0, let's wait for that to update. Yeah, you can see it takes the contrast way off. And then of course you got the grain, which you can go up to 200%. Now keep in mind, this is a paid plugin, but it's definitely worth paying whatever is necessary for this plugin, because it is absolutely insane. Like, let's go back to the curves, and I want to reset this. So let's set back the colors to normal. So let's just turn this off. You can see the color don't necessarily look bad, but they look very digital. Now, of course, in this case, you might not be able to notice it, and I don't know with the YouTube compression, but the colors just look, I don't know, they look way too naturalistic. Whereas in this case, we wanna add some more style to it, because, as I said again, we're not looking for this to be a documentary anymore. So there you go. But yeah, definitely check this plugin out and play around with it. I'm sure you can get some pretty interesting results out of it. Anyway, guys, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up for now. Again, I hope this was as valuable as I thought it would be. I tried to be as, I tried to have as many tips as possible and put them inside the video. Of course, keep an eye out on the edited version of this live stream, because I'm gonna be taking the recording, chopping it up, re-editing it, and then uploading it again. So even if you did miss the live stream, which of course I'll leave the I'll leave the full live stream